The dream of winning the Champions League, seen as a beautiful ending between Mbappe and Paris Saint-Germain, has officially come to a close. Arriving at Parc des Princes, Mbappe, once a skinny boy, has improved in every aspect to become one of the top superstars in world football. However, if we had to point out one reason preventing the French striker from becoming even greater, it would be the titles. At PSG, titles come regularly, but they are often mocked as being from a farmers' league. Mbappe needs to leave, but the departure of France's treasure from Paris is something that makes many uncomfortable. It's like losing the soul of an entire football culture. People often say football is unrelated to politics, but it happens every day. Today's interesting football discussion will explore how politics has influenced Mbappe's career. Let's get started. On January 27, 2024, Kylian Mbappe attended a state banquet at the Élysée Palace in Paris. This grand ceremony, hosted by President Emmanuel Macron, was to welcome the visit of Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, the Emir of Qatar. The banquet also included PSG's President Al Khalifi. French football has always had an extremely close relationship with Qatar. PSG's development in Ligue 1 is undeniably tied to its Qatari owners, which is why such events are often personally hosted by President Macron. However, this meeting seemed to carry more significance than a mere visit. It took place not long after Mbappe announced he would leave PSG at the end of this season. There's no need to guess. We all understand that it was meant to persuade Mbappe to stay in France and continue with PSG. If Mbappe leaves, who would still care about Ligue 1? The answer is no one. It affects the league's image and further impacts economic interests, so persuading Mbappe to stay requires significant intervention from political figures. In a meticulously tailored Dior suit, Mbappe solemnly met the French president. The tension was evident on the former Monaco striker's face because he knew he would face immense pressure during this conversation. Although President Macron's words were not too sharp, they made many think deeply. During the banquet, Macron said to Mbappe, "You will cause us a lot of trouble." Many implications in one sentence. French media still believe that President Macron was more joking than pressuring his player. IMC Sport confirmed that the meeting was not related to PSG or Mbappe's future. It was essentially a ceremonial meeting without any discussion about Mbappe's future or any proposals to try to make him change his decision. However, the fact that Mbappe leaving would cause trouble for many people is real. It all started in 2011 when the Emir of Qatar paid to buy a 70% stake in PSG. Since then, the club has undergone remarkable development. Not just a club, PSG now operates like a business. Recent reports show that Parc des Princes is valued at up to 3 billion euros. PSG's presence in Ligue 1 has made the league overly unbalanced, with no surprises when this team wins every year. If we have to compare, PSG is like a conglomerate in Korean dramas. The power and influence of this team may have exceeded the realm of football. However, to maintain this, the club's reputation must always be upheld, depending on achievements and superstars. In recent years, PSG has parted ways with many famous players, notably Neymar and Messi. Currently, the most attractive star is Mbappe, so the 1998-born striker's decision to leave can directly affect many parties' economic benefits. This isn't the first time the French president has spoken to Mbappe about leaving, notably in the summer of 2022. At that time, Mbappe was very close to Real Madrid, but ultimately he made a U-turn, causing extreme frustration for Real's management, players, and fans. Also at a banquet at the Élysée Palace, President Macron persuaded Mbappe to agree to extend his contract with PSG for another 2 years. Macron said, "Yes, Kylian Mbappe, despite being so young, has demonstrated extraordinary excellence both at the club and national team levels. He has gone through the harshest experiences and has shown the qualities of the greatest: clarity, courage, and the will to rise." Since then, fans have felt that Mbappe and Macron have an extremely close relationship. If he wants, the French president can always persuade the French team captain to stay at PSG. Mbappe has an extremely close relationship with the French president. People say, being friends with a king is like being friends with a tiger. This relationship may bring honor to the 1998-born striker, but it also directly affects Mbappe's career path. France has maintained a close relationship with Qatar for many decades, engaging in many economic, political, and financial agreements. Just last week, there were announcements that Qatar would invest $8.5 billion in French startups and investment funds from 2024 to 2030. A dinner at the Élysée Palace was organized to announce this investment agreement. Now, Mbappe leaving Paris Saint-Germain will not affect the 50-year-long bilateral relationship between France and Qatar, but it will surely be a significant blow. Let's see how football influences as a soft power tool for both France and Qatar. Football clubs, national teams, and individual players are becoming more political. The role of football players is no longer limited to playing on the field. Today, they are expected to voice their opinions on political, social, and economic issues due to their considerable influence. In some cases, politicians exploit this influence to promote their own agendas. Quite often, football players receive something in return. In rarer cases, football players use their influence to oppose politicians, shed light on national and international issues, and use their voices to criticize government agencies. Mbappe acts as an unofficial envoy for Qatar and Paris through his role as a player at Paris Saint-Germain. This brings immense benefits to both Qatar and France, especially important for Qatar's image due to the reputation challenges the country faces from Western powers. As one of the world's most influential football players, representing the country by becoming the face of a team owned by your country helps mitigate these challenges. Of course, Macron also benefits politically by keeping Mbappe in Paris. Mbappe's presence at PSG fosters goodwill between France and its Qatari allies, further strengthening diplomatic relations. Additionally, it establishes a direct communication line between Macron and the national treasure, allowing him to convey his messages through the footballer to the public. This was particularly evident in 2023 during the riots when Mbappe's diplomatic mission to quell the unrest was seen by many French as a message influenced by Macron. However, it's important to note that this player also has significant control and decision-making power over his career. Despite frequently dining and building relationships with the president, Mbappe still has the power to do what he wants. This was clearly shown during the 2022 French elections, when 50 sports figures signed a memorandum in the French newspaper La Parisienne, calling on the French public to support Macron instead of Le Pen. However, Mbappe was not among them. He is both a player and a pawn on the chessboard. A major reason the recent $170 million per season contract made headlines in 2022 had nothing to do with the price, but with questions about the power Mbappe was granted as a football player. Although he denied that his 2022 deal with Paris Saint-Germain included executive privileges, it was reported that PSG was prepared to give the footballer significant control over various powers at the club, from the manager, sporting director, to the players. Many felt uneasy when a club as prestigious as PSG granted such executive privileges to a 23-year-old Kylian Mbappe, going against the rule most football fans agree on. A player should never be bigger than the club. As the public, we will never fully know the truth of these reports, but the fact that they are even conceivable highlights the power Mbappe commands in Paris. Whether it's meticulous control over image rights or carefully chosen personal sponsorships, everything he does results from calculated decisions by both him and his team. However, while Mbappe may be embroiled in a political game involving executives and politicians in the industry, this footballer still has complete control over his career. Leaving PSG at the end of this season will be a crucial turning point in Mbappe's career. Joining the royal colors is a new destiny to open a future with precious titles. But more importantly, it is an opportunity for Mbappe to break free from the interference of powerful hands.